Hello, so it's 2 years since I started fully getting back into my art, so I thought I'd do this update video. So I started doing some sketching in February 2022, did a little bit of charcoal drawing, started mucking around with watercolour, acrylics. I've done a couple of videos previous to this one, so I'll try and not overlap them too much. So this is a mixed media, Winsor & Newton mixed media A4 pad, and I was using it to practice with acrylics. And one of the things I did is I did a 100-day project, so I just used acrylics every day for 100 days, and I found that really useful to speed up my improvements. So I just flick through some of the pages in this pad. As you can see, doing okay. And there are days like when I remember doing these two, when you don't feel like doing it for whatever reason, problems you're having in your life, you just feel ill or whatever. But I remember trying to force myself to do at least one art thing every day when I felt like that. I love nature and all that is, whether that be, the landscape and the creatures on it, but I do really love painting birds. And I remember it was late autumn, beginning of winter when I was doing these. So I was doing these in the kitchen because it's south facing, because I was doing them in the morning and it was too dark in the bay window of my front room. And I would just go there, sketch and paint for about an hour for each of these. Turn that one around. And I would leave little details like on this one, excuse me, I started off, it was too wide, clearly, but it was just a quick rough sketch, but I left that to remind myself. I think sometimes that's good, leaving yourself little reminders of the journey that you're on. I really liked using this pad. It's a mixed media pad, like I said, but I did find it a little bit better for acrylics than the watercolours. The one problem I sometimes find myself doing is I really like doing it. I end up doing such a good job, I think to myself, why don't I do that on a canvas rather than just on a scrap paper or a scrapbook or a sketchbook. And there were several that I started to do that I really liked how I managed to get some life in the eyes. If you just put a little bit of white or a little bit of grey, even, sort of, as long as it's a bit lighter, it really does bring the subject alive. Yes, I didn't bother doing the water because it was all about just capturing the subjects for me. Yeah, and there's some more. I remember I wasn't feeling too good when I painted this one. But just as though you can get into bad habits, you can get into good habits. So just keep going. I love doing sketches, and I was doing a lot of pen and ink sketches with freehand, so no drawing in pencil underneath. And it's brilliant when things go right. If you feel like quite an achievement, and it's actually okay to have a few wobbly lines and that. And I just framed this one up temporarily because I like looking at stuff. I love sketches, and I like looking at stuff that's done quickly in freehand. There's just something about them for me. But I stopped doing a lot of the ink drawings because I wanted to improve on the acrylics. But so I also didn't do many watercolours. So I've only just started doing some more watercolours in the last few week or so. This was one I've done recently, and it's a big improvement on where I started 2 years ago. Yeah, I love doing little pencil drawings and quick sketches, and watercolours really good. It's, you know, it's a lot less messy, and you can do it anywhere really. This is about the 5th barn owl I've done. I love barn owls, they're just beautiful creatures. But it's all about just keep practicing. This was, you know, I didn't have a lot of time, was just mucking about, did a quick sketch, just mucked around with some watercolours, as you can see here, mucking around making purple with watercolours. And the same thing, I just love the fact that you can do something really quickly and bring a blank piece of paper to life with a little creature. So it's another quick watercolour and sketch. And even the humblest of creatures like the chicken, this is all done in 300 GSM Winsor & Newton watercolour pad, A4. So these are in the last sort of week or so, and yeah, I had a lot of fun doing these ones. I think when you're practicing something or you're trying to learn something, it's really important to not lose the fun factor, because quite a lot over the last few years got it too serious sometimes, and it takes the enjoyment out of it. It's not about the end result, it's about how you get there, really, to me. This one I was mucking around doing, I saw someone using a crayon underneath so that the watercolour wouldn't stick to it. And although traditionally the white of the paper is the white, I think for a sketchbook and something like that, it's really a lovely fun thing to do. And this was my first time doing it. It was Kosher Kona, a YouTube channel artist. She was part of Sketchbook School, one of her videos. Anyway, a bit more practice. I mean, I was quite happy with the first result, to be honest. So we're back to acrylic painting. These are some cheap canvases that I bought that I found quite good for not just practicing on, for hanging on my wall, to be honest. I think when you get to the larger sizes, it's important to get the more expensive ones, because it's more about the timber they use. And when they're using cheap timber, when it's small it's not so bad, but when it starts getting bigger, that's when you're going to have problems with it maybe warping and that. But yeah, this was a finished painting I did a while ago actually. And another one for the from my own Keep Britain Tidy. And this one, I was going to put some stars in the background and do the moon a bit better, but I just liked it, how plain it was, and how little you can use with brushwork to get quite a crisp result when it comes to, you know, like an animal or anything really. Yes, another barn owl. Like I said, I've done I've done 5 full paintings of a barn owl. This one's nearly finished. There's just a little bit of touching up to do on this one. I'm very happy with this one. I'm just gonna lighten the branch up a little bit. But yeah, I really like this one. Just in case you didn't know, this is A4 size. So I started to scale up from A6, A5 to A4. Yes, yet again, another barn owl. Like I said, they're just beautiful creatures. So another one, I've just got a little bit more to do on this one. And now for something completely different. This is a really cheap canvas. There was a 4-pack. It's 12 inches by 12 inches, so that's 300 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. And there was, I think it was 4 in a pack, and they were about £3 each. And I thought that's brilliant for practicing on. There's just a touch more to do on this one, not much, and it's hanging in my kitchen at the moment. So this one, what I really like about it is this is me doing several things that I've never done before. So it's scaling up. So this is at size A3. This was one of the first of about 5 paintings that I did standing up, which I don't normally do. Standing up using a handheld palette that I don't normally do. And also you, rather than using a pencil drawing or charcoal drawing, actually doing the sketch with a paintbrush, which is just completely, the whole thing felt really awkward because I was trying all these different things, doing them for one of the first times. So I'm actually quite happy how it turned out. Also, what I'm showing you these pictures on is uh, an easel that I've made myself, and I'll just show you if I turn it around. So all it is a bit of ply, a little bit of timber at the bottom there, just stuff I had lying around that was obviously didn't cost anything. There's a 1/4 inch thread that attaches to the tripods that I already had, and then the actual bracket that fixes to the tripod. It's a cheap one I already had, and you can get them quite cheap, so you can have several of them. And this is just here, it's a water spray bottle, and it's just a counterweight, just in case if I get a heavier painting and it starts to fall or move a little bit. So like I said, one of the things I'm doing now is trying to practice doing some things I don't normally do, painting while standing up and using a palette on an easel. And to help with scaling up, I got 3 Winsor & Newton. It was 3 for 2, so it was on sale. Larger canvas panels, not canvas panels, sorry, canvases. I got, I think it was 60 by 50, 50 by 40 and a 40 by 40. So they're just in the cupboard waiting for me to gesso them. And one of the first things I did when I wanted to scale up was I had a couple of deliveries in some big boxes, and I thought myself that's ideal for using some cheap graduate paint and scaling up. So as you can see, I did a crow and a herring. So as you can see, I've come away. This is one of the first watercolours I did when I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't quite know what I'm doing, but obviously that's a much improvement. And also and this was one of my first acrylic attempts 2 years ago, and again obviously improved quite a lot since then. So that's some of the progress I've made in the last 2 years. Obviously that's not everything, but that's a good sample of some of the stuff I've been doing in sort of the last year and a half or so since the last update. Anyway, enjoy your art, people. Bye for now.